What up, peeps? Welcome to this episode of Married to His Will. I want to thank each viewer and every one of you subscribers for tuning in today. I am in a great mood and couldn't wait to talk to you all today. I would like to speak on the topic of being present. I think you've heard the saying, right? To being present is knowing that today is a gift, right? There's nothing like it. In this season of my life, I have been faith filled. I feel I have a faith filled attitude towards my life. And I believe wholeheartedly that my future is in the hands of God. So is my past, and so is my present. But today, I have chosen to be present. I got up on last Monday morning, and I knew that I didn't have my own vehicle and that I would be dependent on someone else. But I felt gratitude for what the Lord had provided. And my church sister, who lives very close to me, she assisted me all week long with all my errands. And she was so helpful getting me and my two daughters to and from school. It was a blessing to me. I gained a closer friend out of the experience. However, towards the end of the week, around Thursday or so, I had an overwhelming feeling of sadness when I realized I'm still not fully out of my situation. I was triggered by an email and it bothered me, and I began to spiral out of control and out of uncertainty about my future. I was uncertain about keeping up with this life as a single mom with so many bills, so many responsibilities. And throughout the week, I had been ministering to other people who, were seemingly in a worse situation than I am. I was ministering to them about the faithfulness of God and encouraging them about their situations. But I still experienced a moment of weakness where I failed to see God and started focusing on the problem again. But I got back up the next day and I felt encouraged again. So that happened around Thursday towards the end of the week. I just felt this overwhelming sadness as that email came through, started to think about everything. That's when I started to crumble and started to spiral down that rabbit hole. But the next day I had another opportunity to get back up again and be encouraged. I just had a knowing that everything would be okay because God always comes through for me. Then on Saturday, an older woman at my church and in my community, a deeper church, a wonderful person, she said to me she had a vehicle I could use since she just had it sitting there. She wasn't using it. And I'm so grateful, as I know with all assurance that I am a son of God. And more personally, I'm his daughter. He cares deeply for me and is providing for me and my children every day. He is advocating for me every day, even when I'm messing up. So you know what? Today I'm going to be present as I consider his faithfulness. He's my father. He's my provider, my protector, my everything. Being present today means I am not worried about tomorrow. But today, I'm grateful for this moment. I have everything I need. And the scripture says, and my God will supply all my needs according to his riches and glory in Christ Jesus. It did not say he may supply. It said he will supply. That's Philippians 4 verse 19. Philippians 4 is a really good read. Paul talks about being content, being anxious for nothing, because he knew how to be hungry and how to have a lot. And I believe this is what the Lord was teaching me in my season when I had little and I had to believe Him for the next thing. And I believe the lot is coming. A lot is coming. I have faith to believe to see all that God has promised me in my life. But today, what do you have that you haven't really noticed? And you come out of this, you get out of the mood of great gratitude because you're not seeing clearly what God has done for you. Sometimes we have to name them one by one, like the song says, right? Count your blessings and name them one by one. And I'm realizing I am blessed beyond measure. Everything I ever need, He provides. He's a faithful Father. So, in the field of therapy, which I'm a therapist, we have this concept called the here and now, right? Being present. It's a tool that we use in therapy to help people to uh, get out of this anxiousness or even depression. Because being in the here and now, you are actually experiencing life, right? And a lot of times we're missing moments when we're worried about the past or the future. Most of the times we're worried about the future. Or if we're sad, we're thinking about the past. But what is happening in your world today? Sometimes when you can't be present, start to name the things around you. What do you see? What do you observe? What do you feel? What do you hear? What do you taste? What can you touch? What is present around you? What haven't you taken notice of in a long time? There's these things that we do, like taking gratitude walks and look at what's around you. Look at nature. What does it say about you? What does it say about God? How does it reflect the goodness of God? I know for me, even last week, it was such a pivotal time because, again, I was dependent on someone else to drive me. And it takes humility to take help a lot of times. It really does. But this wonderful woman, Miss Trudy, I just love her. She was so there for me. And we've drawn so closer to each other. And one of the things I realize is sometimes being the passenger is certainly different from being the driver. When you're the passenger, you notice things you never noticed before. You get to really look around and take note of what's around you. And I said, all this time I'm driving the same route, I have not seen that before, or I did not see that before. What haven't you taken notice of, or paid attention to, or observed today that you probably missed? Whether while you were driving or you were talking to someone else, did you miss something about that person because you weren't paying attention? We often miss moments because we're not present enough. We're not in the here and now. Being present, focusing in the moment is so important. They have this disorder, you can find it in the DSM-5, that's called ADHD. And a lot of people suffer with it, especially children. And some people outgrow it where they gain more awareness and are doing really well. And their focus is better, but it's not. It's some people have it in a more extreme way than others. Some people are able to, manage the routine, and some people end up on medication because it's a difficult thing to manage. And I do believe that one of the underlying factors of ADHD is anxiety. So, and there's that inattentiveness that can happen for those who present that way, where they miss information and they can't do anything about it. It's just some things don't get in the brain in a way that they can understand. And so they miss a certain percentage of information. Like some children who are in school, they don't focus long enough to be able to gather the information they need to do well. And so sometimes in order to alleviate that, they may put them in a smaller setting or give them more one-on-one time or extended time to complete a task. And so accommodations are made for children like that. But I mentioned ADHD and those things because I'm considering just the distractions that we have that come at us, and just the things that we have going on in our lives that may take moments away from us. They're joy stealers, they're time killers, right? And we have to consider what it is that keeps our time, or keeps our attention, and takes away moments that could be otherwise fulfilling. I've talked in time past about this word content, being content and what it means. And when I read Philippians 4, I realize I'm learning more and more about contentment each day. And it is that being present in the moment and understanding who you are in spite of your situation. Understanding that God is still God in the middle of your situation. He is still God when you're single. He's still God when you're married. He is the same God yesterday, today, and forever. He is here right now in the present moment. He is whoever you need him to be right now. He is the great I am. He is that present tense God. He is present. He is I am. The I am. That just came to me. I am mean I am. I am present. I am now. I am truth. I am the way. I am the life. Who is he to you? Right now in this moment, he is my father. He is my friend. He is my Jehovah Jireh, my provider. That's who he is for me in this season of my life. And I'm content with that because I get to know him in this way more than I ever have before. I've seen him do it for my parents. I've seen him do it for other people. But I get to have a personal experience with him. I needed to come through this journey. I needed to walk this process. I needed to see who God was in my process. And so he brought me this through all the trials I've been through since the beginning of my separation from my ex-husband. I know what it is to be brought low and to feel on the mountaintop. I know now what it means to be content. And in other news, I'm still talking to my friend. I thought we were broken up, but apparently not. Apparently, we're still getting to know each other, and it's fun. And even that gave me a pep in my step today. I felt really happy. And I realized I just needed to be patient and be content in the now and stop being worried about the future or even regretful of the past. I need to be present more. And I want you to be present too. Like, what's happening around you? Have you taken the time to observe that? Have you taken the time to observe somebody's outfit? I don't know. Or observe the color of your walls. Do they need a touch up? I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. But what are you failing to pay attention to? Not just with your eyes. What about with your ears? What haven't you really taken the time to listen to? Or maybe it's your spouse. Are you listening to them well? That's being present, not thinking about what you want to say after, like while they're talking, not thinking about what you want to say, but really repeating what they're saying in your heart. In your heart, like what are they saying, and what's the value of what they're saying, and what does it really mean? And if you don't know what it means, instead of coming up with answers yourself, ask questions. What did this mean when you said this? What did you mean when you said this? When you said, I don't know, I felt or sometimes we have to, even in couples therapy, have to, some people will lash out because they feel unheard or feel like their partner is not listening to them. We do an exercise of communication our conflict resolution. How do you actively listen and reflect so that there's understanding? How can we get the most out of this communication exercise? We practice active listening and reflecting meaning. So if you say to me, when you came in the house and you didn't close the door, I felt you didn't care. You left me open to danger. I don't know. That was an example. Then the partner would say, okay, so I heard you say you felt like I exposed you to danger by leaving the door open. Um, I acknowledge that I made you feel. I'm sorry I did that, but it wasn't my intent. What's the outcome of that communication? Probably a lot better than if the person said, "You don't care about me because you didn't close the door." That's more accusatory. That's more criticism coming from that person's mouth. And then what do you think is going to happen? The next person is going to have a harsh response because they received a harsh response or they heard something harsh from their partner. So there's going to be a harsh response. So this idea of being present and in the here and now, it really does bring to light a lot of what we miss, whether that be in communication with our spouse or with others that we are in a relationship with, anyone. Communication can be a lot better if we're more present and not ready to respond so quickly. Being present with that person and get value out of what they're saying. Observe a little more, listen a little more, be an active participant in the moment. Don't be looking for the next thing. I'm grateful for this idea of being present, of being in the here and now, because I believe that's what Paul kind of meant when he was talking about being content and being anxious for nothing and thinking on the things that are lovely, of good report. Being present, be in the moment. Stop always being ahead or behind, but be focused on the now. It might give you answers for tomorrow. It might give you answers that you never had about your past. But we probably miss answers because we're looking for it somewhere else, or we're looking towards the future, not recognizing that our present is the time that we need to cherish. Our present is a gift from the Lord. So let's cherish it while we have the time, because we take it for granted that our lives are forever. But the psalm reminds us that we're like dust. We can be sometimes like the chaff with the which the wind drives away, right? In the moment we're here, the next moment we're not. So how will you treat your present? How will you cherish the moment? Will you observe a little more? Will you listen a little more? Maybe you'd linger in that hug a little more. Maybe you linger in that conversation a little more and not try to be so quick about the solution, but perhaps the solution is in the moment that you listen, that you observe, that you care. Don't be in a hurry to get to tomorrow, but today is a gift you can enjoy. And with that said, I believe I've shared enough today of my heart about what God is doing. I'm excited. I am so excited that today I'm happy, that today I get to feel and live in this moment. So tomorrow, if the Lord gives me tomorrow, I can be present tomorrow also. But today is given to me and this is all I have right now. So I'm going to be grateful. And with every fiber in my being, I pray you also get gratitude in your heart today. And in everything you do, in deed or in word, stay married to His will. God bless you.